That's where him and Soto Cross first fought. Maybe HBO brings him back, but most likely it'll be back probably back on a PBC card.
So everybody's handling their business going into the main event of the evening. All right. Roman Chocolito, just say chocolate, or you're gonna sound
No,
dumb.
you know what? I'm tired of his fucking nickname. I wish they would stop altogether. Why,
Here's the
Lee,
problem with those
Lee,
New York announcers.
Lee?
First of
Have
all,
you?
Andrew in the middle of the fight last night is pissed off at the usual HBO announcing crew. My problem has been this, and I'm going to say it, and nobody's going to agree with it. Boxing is not happening in New York anymore. And HBO thinks it is, and that's probably why they don't want to be in the fight game. I'm going to break it down. Boxing's on the West Coast, has been for a while. Okay? PBC wants it to be in New York. Main Events wants it to be in New York. HBO wants it to be like a New York based crowd. Here's the problem: the NFL was based in New York. So you saw games like the Giants always against, like the fucking Redskins, like really shitty East Coast stuff. Hey, I'm going to break it down. If you listen to the show and you're on the East Coast, most of your shit right now sucks on the East Coast. What's happening is on the West Coast. Triple G, Santa Monica guy. He's West Coast. Even Gonzalez, West Coast guy. Vegas fighting by far is the best place to go for a fight. I've seen it in every venue. You could tell me Madison Square Gardens is the mecca and it's great. Go look at the Forum. They completely redesigned it. It's just as nice. And by the way, same group owns the Forum that owns Madison Square Garden. We have all the shit out here. We do. The problem is you're not making the best fight the best. And Roman Gonzalez was fighting nobody. No disrespect to Carlos Quadras, right? This on paper should have been a sellout. It's in the middle of LA and you sell 7,000 tickets. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that's unbelievable in my mind. And the fact that it went to a decision to hugely lopsided division 117, 111, 116, 112, and 115, 113. I would have put it at about. Did you score it, Andrew?
Yes, I had a draw, Lee. I can't see. I watched this fight 3 times. It's a classic. Both fights are very entertaining. The trip.
They were. It's a great fight card, but you're telling me that in Vegas that this isn't 15,000?
No, I mean Lee. I'm not disagreeing with that. But look at they had a split card. The Triple G Cal Brook. We know that was over the pond. Gonzalez versus Quadras was in L.A. I don't think Quadras versus Gonzalez in Las Vegas by itself does 15. No.
No, but
Both of
here's the
them
thing.
possibly,
But
but they did
I
100 grand.
agree. But I went up to Vegas on Friday just to go place my bets, right? And I got to watch boxing as well. That's kind of like the bonus. But I went up to go bet on the first weekend of football. I went up there to go bet on the Triple G fight. And how are you? You're telling me that you've got the Mandalay Bay Arena, you've got the MGM Arena, you've got UNLV, and you've got the Access Arena, which, by the way, was busy with George Strait. But you still had 3 arenas in Vegas, okay? Two of which are about the same size as the Forum. You could have put Gonzalez and you could have put Kamegai in there and let fight fans in early, right? And let them watch on giant screens and bet on the fight. Easily. Easily turn it into a huge weekend in Vegas with the first weekend of football. It would have been a mind-blowing attendance. It would have been a big weekend in Vegas. It would have had big fight feel. Instead, yeah, the little guy fought in, at the Forum. And they didn't even press that fight. I didn't see any advertising around town. I go out to Santa Monica and the West Side all the time. There was no advertisement locally for that fight. None. None.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they didn't. Vegas. Maybe they thought that they couldn't make enough money off of what they were asking for that fight, Lee.
Well, no, you can use the Bob Arum Forum. You just go use UNLV, right? You use the Thomas and Mack because it's dirt cheap to rent. I know this for a fact. Like, you can physically rent the building for nothing. It doesn't cost anything. And to me, that's the most logical place. You black out the top, you put everybody down below, you let them watch the fight. You put betting on, if you did it at Mandalay or MGM, you can have betting on site during the fight. You get more eyes on the product. Gonzalez is suffering now from eyes on the product. He is that good.
Gonzalez is suffering from getting punched in the face.
Eh,
Forget that. No, you know what?
he's
This
bored.
this
You know
guy
what? At this
this
point, I think the
guy
dude is bored.
is not pound for pound. He's fabricated just like Canelo was by HBO, and he got exposed last night. Lee, you want to know? You want me to compare this to a Chavez career? This was Meldrick Taylor versus Chavez without the ending. My God, there was nothing Gonzalez could do wrong that Roy Jones or Max Kellerman would point out. Seriously, masterful, the greatest. Roy Jones was trying to tell everyone that this guy is better than Alexis Aguero while he's literally getting punched in the face constantly. Both eyes swollen shut, bleeding from the nose.
That's because they own the contract.
It's
And HBO can deny this, but they've got a contract with Gonzalez. Here's the thing. You're not going to hear a bad word about Canelo on HBO. You're not going to hear a bad word about Gonzalez on HBO. You're not going to hear a bad word about Triple G on HBO.
But you don't hear that they're the greatest before even doing anything. You don't hear that. No one ever said Canelo was better than Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. They've never said that. This guy, they're already comparing him to Alexis Aguero. It's a fucking insult. And he lost. Dude, there's an argument he didn't even win last night because of the way he looked in the final 4 rounds. I had him losing all 4 of the last rounds. Lee, he almost got dropped in the 11th. He was staggered at the end of that fight. He was staggered a few times in this fight. Oh, it was a bad fight. This was an awesome fight. Like I said, I've watched it 3 times. Do you know the last time a fight has actually sat me down to watch 3 times in a row? It's been a while. It really has. But last night, dude, that fight almost lost my voice. Oh, it was awesome. That kid, Cuadras, just a little too inexperienced. When I knew he was going to lose the fight, Lee, I think is at the end of the 8th or 9th round, he tells his corner tells him, you have him drained. You have him where you want him. Keep punching. And you know what the kid responds? He responds with, if I punch, I get tired. And once a fighter starts telling himself that mentally, the shit is over. You know what I compared it to was the guy that raced against Michael Phelps in the Olympics, and they caught him looking at Phelps while he's supposed to be racing. You lose it. Once you lose it mentally, there's nothing you could do physically to take over. I thought when he started saying he's getting tired by punching, that means he's telling himself that in the ring. It's very hard to get through that. The last 4 rounds, the kid tried. He really needed a bite down. Lee, if he would have just bit down and unleashed left hook after left hook, Roman Gonzalez's eye was swollen. He was having trouble stopping that punch. Oh, it was there, man. That was an awesome fight. Give a lot of credit to Roman Gonzalez for staying up. I'll tell you this. Both challengers, Roman Gonzalez and Cal Brook, their biggest flaw last night was the weight that they came into the ring at. Both men looked out of shape. Yes, Cal Brook looked like he had a good muscle build, but when you look at his body, it did not look like a boxer's body. It looked like a body of a muscle builder. Roman Gonzalez didn't even look like that. He looked like a square. There was a square on going down into his trunks. He looked heavy. And I told, real fast, the weigh-ins I watched online, my daughter walks in the room. I asked her, Mia, who do you think looks heavier? You know who she pointed to? Roman Gonzalez. I said, okay, so now you're telling me that while the men are on the scales, Roman Gonzalez looks heavier. What that's telling me is he can't eat tonight. If he eats tonight, he's going to look fat. And the night of the fight, I showed her how he looked fat. He ate. He shouldn't have done that. Both fighters should have came in at least 4 to 5 pounds less than their opponent, and they would have been faster on their feet, faster in their hands, and probably lasted a little longer in the fight. They didn't do that. They came in way heavy, and it played out how it did. Cuadras, this is everything Roman Gonzalez needed. If HBO was smart, they bring this fight right back. Hope Cuadras puts in the same performance, give him the victory, and do it a 3rd time, because there's not really a lot going on at the, 118-pound division? So this fight was perfect. It was a perfect setup. This is what I was talking about. Roman Gonzalez needed earlier. The undefeated Mexican that could make a trilogy. They now have it. Cuadras is the real deal. Lee, he was putting hands on what many kept telling us was the best fighter in the world. He did not look like it last night. I'll tell you right now, what I've seen in Roman Gonzalez since HBO's been shoving him down our throats is that he's overrated. I don't think he's pound for pound worthy at all. Not on the top 10 list at all. Brian Valoria almost dropped you. Carlos Cuadras damn near beat you, guy. At the end of the fight, not only was Roman Gonzalez reaching to the sky praying because he knew he got a gift, he also wouldn't look at the camera when they were interviewing him. He had a hat on. He was staring at the ground, apologizing for the way he looked, apologizing to his family for the fight that he put in. He did not sound like a winner at all. He even brought up the fact that he didn't even know if he wanted to continue, Lee, because he thought he was hurt seriously in the fight. He didn't sound like a winner.
Yeah, there you go. We got to clean this all up. We got to go watch football.
This is it, minutes. Baby. This is
all right.
It.
Home stretch. Here's your
Lee,
quick news update.
Lee, at like midnight.
Did you make your fantasy football picks?
At midnight, I cracked open a 22-ounce because I couldn't go to bed.
Wow. Yes, both of our teams go off at 10 o'clock. It's very exciting. Quick news of the week. Former champ Bobby Chacon passes away. They talked about it on Friday night. This kid who won in the co-main said he won for Bobby Chacon. I thought it was kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Former 2-division world champion schoolboy Bobby Chacon of Pacoima, also known for meth and porn, has passed away at the age of 64. Not Bobby Chacon, but the city of Pacoima.
Oh, I was like, what the hell? That's not in there at all, Lee.
Meth, I think meth was created in Pacoima.
Oh, my God.
Details were sparse at first, but according to the LA Times, Chacon fell and struck his head in a Hemet care facility on Wednesday morning.
Listen, he's a great fighter. He's before my time, but I heard a lot of him through my grandfather, my uncles. The Indian Red Lopez being the biggest fight of his career. That was big in the Mexican community. This is a great example of a fighter, Lee, that didn't win all of his big matches. He had 7 losses, and most of them are against the world champions. But we remember him. But he's still considered great. You understand what I'm saying? It's not always because you're undefeated, guys. It's not always because of that. This guy laid it on the line every time, and they're still remembering him today. That's all I got to say of it. Bobby Chacon, rest in peace.
And the big one, the Kovalev Ward media circus train has begun.
Oh, we're going to keep going with this. I know people are going to get bored of this one, Lee, but we're going to pump it until I feel it's getting...
Well, at least until I have credentials.
Why you have
to... Have you gotten permission to go to Vegas yet? Let's keep up on our Andrew watch list.
No.
Andrew approved for Vegas yet?
I haven't really... You look it. I threw it out there the other day. I got no response. So
I'm telling you. I'm throwing the hotel room on the table. You don't even have to give up the time.
I got you.
I still have my shithole planned. People ask me, where's your shithole? I'm not going to tell you my secret location of where I like to stay that has the best room with a sports book that is a complete shithole of a hotel. But I will say this. I know the best kept secret in Vegas. It's pretty unbelievable. Sergey Kovalev, it's a big moment in my career. I want to thank everybody for the fight. Kathy Duva, Rock Nation, HBO, everybody. Yep. I just want to give the fans a great fight. Andre Ward, I'm grateful to be here. I want to thank everybody associated with this event. Obviously, HBO, Peter Nelson, Rock Nation, main events, and anybody else I can suck the dick of to tell them how excited I am to have.
He didn't say that.
You didn't say that?
That is not how you get credentialed, Lee. Jesus.
Oh, okay. He also wanted to thank God for the opportunity.
Yeah, you see how that didn't play right?
You know what? By the way, I'm going to say this to anybody who's a boxer. If you win after beating someone up, don't thank God. It's not cool.
Yeah.
Okay? I will admit, I am not the biggest pro-religion / Bible guy on the planet. But thanking God after beating somebody up is just so terribly uncool. I don't even know what to say on the topic. If you want to thank God that nobody got hurt.
Healthy, yes, sir.
That's great. I'm for it. But when you do and I saw this after a fight on Friday, I want to thank God for giving me the strength and the power to win this fight. No, bro. Bro, no.
Hey, that's what
Bro,
Roman Gonzalez said too after House